Hello, everybody. Dr. Rick here, dropping in on you. Hope everybody's doing good. Look, for those who were able to drop in on the video of me explaining the difference between basic socialization or general socialization and racial socialization earlier today, thanks for dropping in. For those of you who did not get a chance to see that video, it's important that you see it because it is imperative to understand why racial socialization is important for blacks. I iron it out there and I set the stage and the foundation for future discussions, so definitely check that out. Also, on that same vein, we are definitely in need of support. We are still in the midst of a fundraiser. We haven't hit the goal we set for a couple of weeks ago, so we definitely are behind, but let's keep pushing. We are still working. We're going to continue to still work and do what we do. We're going to do it to the best of our abilities. We're going to be consistent. I've been doing this for a long time. Those who follow me know many of you have brought your own or people you know or referred people. We're doing what we do to the best of our ability. I am passionate about what I do, and I give it as much attention as I can. In the mornings I have to keep it balanced because I have a life to live and a family to support and a future to iron out for my own progeny. But I am definitely 100% committed, as I always have, to being a force in the community. Now, in that same vein, I want to talk to you about something that's just really got me hot. And it's got me hot because it goes back to the conversation about racial socialization and how important it is, and how so many people have opened up and pressed out and pushed and laid the foundation. And I have followed and stretched it and put it in the perspective. We can go back to Dr. Naeem Akbar, we can go back to Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, Dr. Amos Wilson, Neely Fuller Jr. We're talking about Dr. Joy DeGroot, Dr. Howard Stevenson out of the University of Pennsylvania. These are people specifically who have focused on African American adolescent and young adult male violence and the need for proper racial socialization. I have simply taken what they started and added to it. And what I'm sitting up talking about is we are not only losing our communities, we are slowly watching the reality of losing our homes, losing our families, because we aren't giving attention to things that are immensely important to our growth, our empowerment, our projection into this liberated state that we always talk about when we say black empowerment. But what we're experiencing is that black disempowerment at a rapid pace. We are moving backwards. We're moving backwards in every socioeconomic category. We're moving backwards in our ability to function and move and operate within our own community. We're moving backwards in the sense of holistically empowering our children by way of holistic education and socialization. We are struggling, and I'm saying that because I had two incidences. One happened in Texas, and I'm not sure where the other one happened, but the first one that happened in Texas happened a couple of days ago. A guy who was a stand-up guy, me having worked with black youth in Dallas for about 5 years while I was up there, got to know a lot of people. I don't know him personally, but a lot of people who know him. He's a stand-up guy, a coach of a little league team. Argument breaks out behind some bull crap on a referee call, and this guy gets murdered. And the only reason we're even hearing about it is because the person who killed him happened to be the brother of a former NFL player. I'm telling you, this stuff happens all the time. We lost a family friend and a community leader in Pastor Ronald Mouton about a month or so ago. Another black 22-year-old road rage. They almost hit, they don't even hit, they almost hit, exchange a few words, and the kid kills him. So that's two, it's actually three. The one I heard about today is a young 51-year-old mother who is at the gravesite of her 22-year-old son on his 22nd birthday, at his gravesite. She lost him at the beginning of the year. She's at his gravesite. His enemy comes by and murders her. 17-year-old black kid. we don't have a problem. We are in a world of hurt and we don't realize it. And what happens is those of us with enough affluent force don't think it'll come to our doorstep. Those who understand it think they've got it figured out and their kids are good. You can't control every place your kids go. And what I've seen with these football and baseball and basketball shootings, it's not, okay, I'm not in the hood. If your son happens to be at a game where one of those teams from the hood show up, they bring in all of that with them. And it pops off. And you don't know what's going to happen. And the thing is, sitting up and working in the community doesn't mean that it doesn't happen, but it does mean it reduces the risk because we have the empirical data that backs that up. I know because I've been doing this for years. Racially socialized kids are simply less violent, period. Not to mention more financially responsible, more socially responsible, more engaged in the community, less likely to marry outside the race. So many other things that comes along with this. We've got a problem. And sitting around and talking about how horrible things are is not going to solve the problem. Sitting up and pointing fingers is not going to solve the problem. Saying it's this and it's that is not going to solve the problem. What's going to solve the problem is people boots on the ground doing something that changes the way these kids think, changes and prepares the next generation. A lot of these kids, we've lost them because we didn't invest in them in time. We got another generation that's going to be actually coming up looking up to these clowns. Now, some of them we can save, some of them we can get out there and we can invest in, and we can do some things with. We have programs for that, and we are 100% committed to helping anyone that we can save. But where we can win is in preparing and insulating the ones that have not been sucked up and consumed yet. And we're doing a horrible job right now. There's nothing there on a consistent basis, on a large enough basis to change the game. But the tools are there. The tools are there. So we can't say that it can't be done. The tools are there. We aren't interested enough. We aren't hurting enough. We aren't committed enough to actually invest at a level that could change it. It's that simple. I'm going to call a spade a spade. We're not invested enough to do it. It's there. It's proven. As Dr. Joy DeGruy, as Dr. Howard Stevenson, it's there. I've put in the work. I built the program. It's there. All you got to do is look at other groups. All of them have rite of passages. All of them are properly socializing their kids. The difference is most of them don't have to really worry about racial socialization, except for maybe the Latino community, which is hard. The Browns are targeted pretty heavy here, but nothing like being a black kid in America. And it comes in many ways. And we are failing at preparing these children to face it. That's on us. It's not on anybody else but us. Nobody else's responsibility but ours. I just gave you 3 examples that hit home. That doesn't scratch the surface to what happens in communities every day around the U.S. that never makes the mainstream media. It's time for us to start taking action on our own. It's time for us to start supporting programs that are doing the work. It's time for us to start being a part of programs that are doing the work. It's time for us to do what's necessary to bridge the gaps in the division and divisiveness and the individualism that is rampant in our community, that is destructive. When J. Edgar Hoover's asked, man, hey, what's the greatest threat to national security? Black unity. Well, we don't have to worry about that right now, dude. The last thing they're worried about is black unity. We're so schismatic in our existence that it's ridiculous. We find every reason to beef with one another, and all they do is capitalize on the beef. It's time for us to stand up. It's time for us to come together. It's time for us to take action. I can't push this hard enough. We're losing. We've already lost the community. We're going to have to reclaim the community back. We've lost it. It's not there. It's a hood. It's not a community. We've lost it. Children are terrorizing everybody in the community. Everybody's afraid of teenagers in the community. But we're losing the homes because black love has lost its place. And that's because we didn't socialize them into seek. We socialize them into things. What can I get? What can I have? To hell with building something with somebody. What can I get? And how can I use what I get to manipulate as many women or manipulate as many men as I can? Everybody on the hustle, everybody on the grind. Nobody's building, nobody's loving, nobody's protecting, nobody's guiding, nobody's leading. Everybody is for self. Look, I'm gonna get out of here. I need to unwind, seriously. But I had to drop this on you, and I hope that at some point we get it. But as of right now, we are losing horribly. On that note, I'm out of here. For those of you who do want to support the work we're doing, the link is in the description box. If you want to give via Cash App, the organization's Cash App account handle is also in the description box. If you want to learn more about what we are doing at the Odyssey Project, the link to the organization site is also in the description box. On that note, I am out. You guys have a good